showtime.
So, hello everybody. This is Pat Eckert from Fine Liquids, Premium Waters and More Your Water Lifestyle Company. I am a water distributor from Germany, and this is a interview which we do together with Mr. Milan Patel from London and Mr. Arian Gholamali from Iran. And before we start into the show, I just want to introduce my guests, and I want to let them introduce by themselves. And before they do that, there is nothing so special about me, but there is something special about that live stream. Um, this idea of that live stream came maybe 1 year ago, and then we planned, Milan and me, how can we do a live stream talking about water from different countries all over the world. And so we decided doing this once in a month. And what we do now is talking to somebody from Iran, and we never did that before. And Iran wasn't on my focus, but what was on my focus was a brilliant media artwork on Instagram from this brand ARLIAN. And I did not know that this brand is from Iran. And several times I asked this brand over Instagram, hey, could you send us some samples? But there never started a discussion. And in this year, some scientists from Iranian University asked me some stuff, and I thought, hey, we should talk to ARLIAN Waters again, and we did that. And now we are here. This is the result of some talking before. And the very special thing about this interview today is I thought, hey, water has no borders. And sometimes I think this world's gone mad, really. And I'm very sad about how things are developing, but water still has no borders. The oceans flew all over and all across this beautiful blue planet. And this is our home. And on our home, we, the people, we are building borders and we are building walls. And I think this is something where what we can do to show people it's all in our mind and we can go across that borders. And this is what I want to do. And this is my message to you out there, next to drinking a real good water. And now it's up to you, Milan. You are here. Cheers.
Cheers, definitely. Wow, Pat, what a beautiful intro.
Yeah.
Water, borders, fantastic. I thought it was very nice. Milan Patel, water sommelier with Fine Liquids and a water consultant. And we're here at the Fine Liquids Community Show with Arian from ARLIAN Waters. And definitely we're going to be hydrating the imagination with a very special water, which the Fine Liquids community consider to be something special. As Pat mentioned, the media work and everything else. But we're really going to dive in deep with this. And over to you, Arian.
Thank you very much. It's my very pleasure to be here with you and to discuss with you and to have this conversation with you about water. And the most beautiful thing is that we can, the three of us, be sitting all around the globe and be talking about one specific thing. And I think that's a very beautiful thing that is happening right now. Thank you very much for inviting me to your show, and I hope I can be a bit of help.
Okay, no, brilliant. This is very exciting. So, I guess there's a number of questions I've got to pay. But Pat, I think if you wanted to open with your first questions for our community out there.
Yeah. All in all, there is something I have to tell everybody outside there. When I get in contact with Arian, I spoke my very best English. I can do, and I don't know at which moment it happened, but we just spoke, and then he said, hey, wir können auch Deutsch sprechen. Und auf einmal spricht er Deutsch mit mir. And he spoke German with me from Iran, and I never talked to anybody from Iran before. But what I want to say is, when you are connecting people all over the world, it's clear you all have to talk in English, and that's very okay to me. And so it was a real big surprise. And when we were talking about WhatsApp, it's always in German. So this is a cool thing for me because most of the people don't speak German. So thank you, therefore. My very first question is, hey, ARLIAN Waters. It comes over Instagram just like a very, very unique, very fresh, very stylish lifestyle water product. And this is amazing. So, because most of the companies out there just making water, bringing a bit of environment story, bringing a bit of education story, a bit of sports, a bit of health. But what Alien does all the time is making a good job on that. And so my question is, how did you decide to do it like this?
It's very nice for me, and it's very flattering for me to hear this kind words from you guys. Two very well-known specialists about this matter. Um, what was very important for me and my partner? We started this company as two very young people, and at the beginning of this journey, we had a lot of problems in development, and we had very too many problems about the cash that we needed for the start of this business. So that made us stand back and have to wait for, I think, a period of 4 or 5 years. So that made us have this time to research and develop the product that we wanted to launch as soon as we got to that position. My friend has a very high education and history in hospitality, and my education goes back into marketing. So that's that's how this came together, and we are just two best friends trying to have fun with our product and trying to have fun with our company. And I think that's the strength that we have in Arlian Waters, because there is no big table of deciders deciding about a matter. It's just two friends talking about something and then acting about it. And that's what makes Arlian, I think, unique in a sense. The other thing is, me and Ali are very similar to each other in the matter of taste. So there is no thing that, for example, Ali would say and I would say no, or vice versa. So that's, I think, that's the personality of Aryan Waters is actually what we tried to build, and we really wanted Aryan to have a personality, and we wanted Aryan to deliver more than just water. It should have been the experience.
Yes.
The first day that I remember, the first day that me and Ali were talking about, we were talking about there are so many very expensive luxury goods that people need to have the luxury experience. But with water you can have the luxury experience, but you don't need to spend that much money. Of course, it has a price difference between competitors, but it's not, it's not something that you have to think twice about it. So we wanted to deliver this experience, not just the water experience.
Wow. I really, really appreciated the fact that this wasn't something overnight that you've put together with specialist marketing teams and media teams. This was 5 years in the making with
It was,
dedication.
yeah.
That is
It
a
was,
beautiful
yeah.
thing, and it definitely resembles the backbone of the company of we want to make something special and make it right. So yeah, I applaud you. That there is
Thank you
very,
very much.
very special.
I remember sitting in the geography class and researching about the marketing strategies of Voss and the marketing strategies about Svalbardi and stuff. And every time the professor looked at me and like, Aryan, can you answer this question? I was like, no. I thought he's talking Chinese to me. Maybe I can talk in German, but definitely not geography.
I can definitely relate to that. I've spent many of classes trying to say what the tutors do, but doing my own homework in the background. So yeah, I definitely know where you're coming from on that. So that's pretty awesome.
So under normal circumstances, we would have your water here on our table in Heidelberg and on our table, on Milan's table in London. And we have other circumstances, and this is something I never thought about before because I did not have contact to people in countries with which are under an embargo. I never thought about this aspect for other people, and I never thought about this aspect for myself. So this is something very special. But before we are talking about embargo and society stuff, um, I want to ask you about the water, our Arlian water itself. So, how can I imagine your water? What does your water make unique itself? So, where is it sourced? Where does it come from? How does it taste? Can you describe this for the audience?
For sure, for sure. The thing is, dear Pat, when we started Arian Waters, since I was telling you, Arian Waters came from a hospitality background. So we were thinking about something that could be used in the hospitality market. You guys know much better than me than that for water, if you want to like have a general water, the water has to be light so it doesn't affect the taste of water. So that's where we put our start point. We said we will have exceptionally light water so everyone can taste it with their food. That was the main goal for Aryan Waters at the beginning. That's why we started to have all of to do our research about different sources. At that time, we decided that we don't want to be limited to a single source. So Arden Waters is produced right now in three different sources, and each of the sources have exactly, not exactly, but almost the same taste, not the same values, but definitely the same taste. So if I would put three glasses of Arden Waters and five glasses of our competitor's water in glasses, I'm most certainly sure that every normal consumer, not specialist, every everyday consumer could differentiate Aryan waters to the other waters because of the lightness, and it could definitely not differentiate the three different Aryan waters.
Definitely. So, just touching on the exceptionally light drinking water, what I really enjoy about the labeling on the bottle, okay, and we've discussed this on a number of shows, the taste of water, aqua tastology, Pat and I like to call it. What I really enjoy is that you are already telling the person that's going to be experiencing Arlene water that it's already an exceptionally light water. You're already helping to define the experience that they're going to achieve. And I think other brands should or try to do this because it's already highlighting what you're going to experience. And I think I quite like that. I really do, because you read it, beautiful packaging, you know what you're walking into, you know what you're going to experience. So I think that's pretty cool.
I couldn't agree with you more about that. That's exactly what we tried to do. We wanted to the one of the first things that me and my partner came to see was that people actually, like everyday people, especially in Iran, that we don't have as many different fine waters. I couldn't name any right now at the top of my head. Uh, they see water still as just water.
Yes.
It's not something about taste, and that's exactly what we try to do with our labeling. We wanted to ask the people to focus on the taste and see the difference between Argan Waters and other
Yes.
water companies.
Fantastic. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, this is something special all around the globe. We have this category of normal hydration drinking water, and we have, on the other hand, high class whiskeys, high class winery stuff.
We don't have that in Iran.
Yeah, okay. Something like that. We never spoke about that before. But
Yeah.
fine water category is all around the globe a very special thing, and it's not established as many of our customers or our audience think. It's just something developing. And when you're talking in Germany to people who drink Gerolsteiner for all of their lifetime, and you say, "Hey,
Yeah.
look at this! This is a fine water," they don't believe that. What they really need is an initial experience of, hey, what is that? And this is something most of the people miss. And when they have this initial experience, something happens and something is changing. So what I really want to know from you, Arian, is that just as you said, these luxury goods are not available in Iran. So, what is the experience for the Iran society with a fine water? So, how can I imagine it? When I tell people in Germany, hey, this is Gerolstein and this is fine water, they say, it's water. So, what about people in Iran in that case?
So because of the scarcity uh, of our the cash that we wanted to start Arlian Waters with, that made us very creative about stuff like this. So what we started to do is that we thought if we go to supermarkets, first of all, the people are not gonna want to touch it because it looks different and it looks more expensive. So people won't even want to try it. The second thing was supermarket distribution was very, very, very expensive for us at that moment. So we didn't want to get involved in that. And at some point, supermarket distribution would get bigger than the company was. The
Yes.
experience, the challenges would get much bigger than our experiences were. So what we started to do is to exactly go to each and every luxury restaurant in Tehran and try to sell to them. So we started the business in just hospitality circumstances. After that, the people started to like the taste. They started to like the lifestyle and experience of the design and the bottle and the marketing had with itself. And they started to ask us to get into the supermarkets. So when we entered the supermarket business in Iran, we didn't need to wait a single day. From the first day on, everything was already pre-sold. So that was a very smart move, if I can say that about ourselves, that we made, and we don't regret it at all. So that's how we try to show the people the difference. Exactly how if you're in a fine restaurant and you have a salad with some cheese, it even tastes different with from the exact salad in a other environment. So that's what we try to hang on.
So your strategy, like with these fine restaurants, was really consulting about the water and elevating the experience with Arlian Waters and foods, discussing it with the chefs.
Exactly.
Wow, wow, that there is definitely a very good strategy, and I'm sure. Was it a case where many chefs were looking, thinking, is this going to work? And then a case
Is
of,
it that much different? Is it that much different? The question was always like,
yeah,
yeah, but I can say, I'm just telling in euros, so it's understandable for everyone. But it's like if this is like 10 cents and the other one is 50 cents, is it that much different? We're like, yeah, you can see you can test that.
yeah,
And the good thing about that was since at the beginning there was not a lot of people working in Arlian.
or,
The person talking to the different restaurants was actually me and my partner, and we were the most educated people about this stuff. So that's why we could convince the people about how to buy this.
so it definitely has that win-win of the influence of the chefs complementing the food, but then also, going back to the design of Arlian on a table, it's like jewelry. decorating a table. You know,
Thank you.
it does. It looks sexy. Like if you're gonna say, hey, I must say it's got a very beautiful appeal. And maybe in Iran, the wine bottle is definitely not on the table. So elevating the experience with good design with Arlian is yeah, I like it. I do.
Thank you very much. Thank
Both
you.
sides,
Yeah,
it's
and
good.
on the top for me is that Arlian Waters is not just cool designed. Cool designs you can find all across the world. But what I think on Alien is that the finishing is flat, and just working
Thank you.
with black and white and bring it in that flat, and it's a bit normally, but when it comes to goosebumps,
Yes,
you got me. You know
Thank you.
agreed.
this
Thank
is
you.
what is happening with Alien, and I never tasted a sip of it. Um, I'm really. It's amazing to listen to you. When you just talked that you and your partner started to go out and work with the people out there, this is something other people can say. You started from scratch, and this is handmade, grown, and people who are working like this, they have their own baby. It's not just a company; it's their baby, and there is pure passion. And this is what I think you can see everywhere. And I'm very sad that I don't have a
I know.
bottle
We
of
were
you.
gonna find a
No.
way. We were gonna find a way to get
Yes,
that.
yes, definitely, definitely.
But until then, now we are talking about. Give us an idea. I saw so many different bottle designs, every one cool for itself. But tell me, do you produce in PET and in glass, or just in PET? And do you produce in still and sparkling, or only still? And what? And the last thing is, you just touched the price. How much is a bottle in euro? So this is just to have a complete look at it, if possible.
It's very hard for me to tell you the price in euros because I live in a country that the euro price changes with the hours. So I could definitely not give you a price in euros. But I could tell you that Argan waters cost approximately twice the price of a normal water that is distributed.
Would that be a water from a natural source or a processed water?
From natural
Yeah.
source. That's the thing, you know. These stuff don't really affect the price in Iran because of the, you know, people in Iran still have the problem that even don't know the difference between mineral water and drinking water. And then we don't even want to get into that where does the water come from? Is it coming from a spring? Is it coming from aquifer or different stuff? So that's something that is not considered in the price of the product that is here.
Yeah.
The what we the our bottles are all right now in PET, and we are changing that. We have an agenda that Arian Waters is going to be completely plastic free till 2030. So that's a goal for Arian Waters. But as I said before, Arian is taking each step very carefully and very slowly. So
Yeah.
the next step for Arian Waters is Arian Waters in glass. After that, the sparkling water is going to get next to it. What took us so long about the sparkling water was we didn't want to carbonate water. We wanted to find a source with carbonated water
Yeah.
that matches the qualities of Ardean waters. So that took us a really long time, and we are very close to close a deal right now about that. But um, we are not done yet. So
Yeah.
that was a very big problem for us. You know, Iran is a country completely on mountains. You know, it's a very huge uh, the Alborz Mountains and the Zagros Mountains. They have a lot of very high quality sources in Europe, but due to this price orientation of the buyers, no one is actually going to those places because of the transportation costs and the cost that is getting added to that. So that makes it for us a bit easier to close deals, but it makes it very harder for us to find the sources.
Yeah, very good. I quite like the facts that you mentioned earlier on that there are three sources that Arian
Yes,
Waters can use. And when you said that, immediately, you've really looked into this to match as close as possible the TDS, the mineral composition, the mouthfeel, what Arian Waters reflects exceptionally light drinking water. But immediately in my mind, I was like, sustainability. Okay, you're not taking water just from one source and constantly taking that water. You are sharing, Mother Nature's gift to us. You are sharing that between
exactly.
different sources. And to me, I think strategically that's a very good move because you're not taking more than what Mother Nature gives, and you're sharing the load. And maybe it could be a thing when Arian Waters is out there. People are like, there are three springs. Can we taste the differences?
The
There
difference,
could, it could be a thing because I would be very proud of that fact. Some people think, oh, it comes from three different, but these three sources are thought of, and it's making it easier on the environment with extraction. So maybe
exactly.
it could be a thing.
I'm very
Okay.
happy that you're seeing the points that we thought about when
Yeah.
we were developing the country and the idea.
Very good. I like it.
Okay, guys, let's come back to this very irritating thing called embargo. I remind myself when these terror attacks hit these buildings in America, and after that, Mr. George W. Bush said some things which irritated me as a young man 20 years ago, I think. And in my working time, I had so many young people around me, and I spoke with them. And what I recognized is we have a new generation of kids and young people which did not um, were alive when these terror attacks hit America, and so they have they can't remind anything. They don't have seen these pictures in the TV, and so I recognized, oh my God, this is a youth without knowledge of what happened. And a friend of mine, Mr. Lars Schall, he's a big investigative journalist working together with Pepe Escobar, just published a book over the September 11th this year, 20 years later. And now in Afghanistan, real sad stories are happening. And these things are all connected together. And what happened in these 20 years is that some news were cut off for most of the people. So Iran or Afghanistan always were just connected with terror and were connected with embargo. And it was for us in our society just a cut off. So nobody thought about Iran. Nobody talked with Iran. Okay, some special people, but the most of the people never thought about Iran, never talked to Iran, never heard news from Iran. And when they heard news, it was all about religion, it was about bad things and stuff like that. And I am sad for myself to recognize, yeah, this was part of my life until the first time we both spoke over WhatsApp. And thank Corona, therefore, that Corona worked in so that we connect over Zoom and Google Meet and stuff like that, because we didn't do that before. And I wasn't aware of that borders. And I don't know how the word is in English, but it's shame. It's shame. I'm shaming myself for the Western societies, how they worked with your society and with other societies which are under embargo, because you cannot blame a complete society because of decisions from other people from other countries. I know.
That's right.
I know. Mr. George Bush said, if you are not with us, you are against us. And this is propaganda they did 20 years ago. And you are still under embargo because of decisions people made 20 years ago. So,
42.
so you said you have no luxury goods. Okay, this is something I can accept, but what does embargo mean when you are growing up 20 years long with an embargo? What does that mean? I know, that's the last thing I want to say. Germany worked together with Iran long time before the embargo and long time centuries ago, and it were other countries which cut that off too in the past.
Yes, it was. So I want to make a small thing clear. We have a lot of actually Iran, since it's a Middle East country. There are a lot of very wealthy people living here, and we have a lot of luxury goods, and we pay actually much more for the luxury goods because it's very hard actually for them to get inside. The thing I was talking about is that we don't have alcohol served in Iran. That's the thing. That's the first thing I wanted to clarify. The second thing is the sanctions about Iran. They didn't start in 2000. I think 2001 it was. They didn't start 20 years ago. They started 42 years ago at the beginning of the revolution. So Iran never had anything to do with the 9/11 attacks or any other attacks around the world. So the sanctions about Iran are are just political, and I don't actually want to get involved in that political discussion. But I just wanted to clarify this small things. Um, about the business, it's very ridiculous that I cannot have a international post company like DHL working here. It's like the first time I went into DHL asking for some caps I wanted to see how they work in Iran. From China, I wanted them to be shipped to me. And they say DHL is not working right now in Iran. It was very ridiculous for me. Or big posting companies. For example, I tried to send Pat's waters, but I couldn't do that because of the posting issues. So that's the smallest and the most ridiculous thing that matters here. And then think about the exportations when I want to export. I can't have LCs. I can't have banking communications. I have to pay a lot of fees
Yeah.
to get the money I spent back to Iran. It's these things make it really hard, and I think that's the most ridiculous thing to sit in the era of internet in the era in the 21st centuries. People are making biggest decisions over the internet. We are the three of us are each at one point in the world, and we are talking very friendly to each other, and we are exchanging information about our societies. And in this time, if I have the problem of banking, in this time, if I have the problem of posting, thank God I don't need to import anything. But how much creative could I be if I could import, for example, the glass that I wanted, or the label I wanted? That's the and every day I wake up, I have a new challenge. Every day I wake up. Some days they say, for example, the cartoons, we cannot produce them, the paper is not coming. The other day it's the labels. The other day it's the shrink packaging. And every day. And I'm actually working with a material that is actually 99% coming from the oil, the packaging. It's coming from oil. It's PET, it's the label, the cap, everything is almost plastic. And I'm sitting in Iran on oil, you know? But what happens to other companies, to companies that involve technology, to companies that need stuff to create? I want to tell you the most ridiculous thing. We're talking about sanctions against Iran for human for not practicing human rights in Iran. But the most uh, the least thing that for human rights could be done is to send vaccines to Iran.
Yes. Yes. Agree.
Every day that people don't go to restaurants, another business is falling apart. The day I was talking to my partner yesterday about our customers, and I'm telling you, 45% of the restaurants we were working with are closed because people are still not vaccinated.
Yeah.
It's not like in America or in Europe that people don't want to be vaccinated.
They do.
They
Yeah.
stand in lines for vaccination, and it's just not coming. And I think that's exactly what against human rights is.
Yes. Totally agree. You know, it's better that everybody is vaccinated, but it's sharing those vaccinations. You know, first, second jabs. Some countries are majority of the population have second jabs, and the details that we hear in the UK, you know, I think restaurants are opening now. The economy is slightly opening, but it's sad. It genuinely is sad. It's where countries can have additional vaccinations for the population, and then there's countries still waiting, despite us, you know, being nearly a year and a half into this global pandemic. But what I would like to say is where Pat mentioned about the Western world not really understanding or learning about the culture of Iran, because where it was just switched off, and the media just telling us what we needed to know. There's a beautiful and fantastic show on BBC, and it's called The Art of Persia. Okay, and it's by Samira Ahmed. Have you seen this show?
I have.
And to our audience there, I strongly recommend that you watch this series because it blew me away. I fell in love with the culture, the food, the history, and I can't wait to get my sample of Arlian because I will try some Persian foods at home to pair it with, no doubt. So just a little tip that you know, wherever you are in the world, you can learn about the real Iran. Okay.
I hope the pandemic is going to be over very soon, and we could invite you to Iran so you can see firsthand. That would be the best.
You know, Pat, the amount of shows that we've done and the amount of invitations that we have, like now we're going to Iran. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank
That
you.
would be a pleasure for us.
Yeah, what you just said right now hit me. It hit me really to hear that because this is an example for how we are informed or not informed here. And the Western societies always do like they were state of the art, and this is shaming me too. And I think I am a well-informed person. And now you said, "Oh no, no, no! There happened so many things more, and I don't want to get and fall in discussion with these political things." And I totally agree with you. But this shows me, hey, no, Mr. Eckert, you are not well informed when it's depending on Iran. You have to talk to Mr. Gholami. He knows what happened.
No, it's not about that. It's just like uh, there are some stuff that are not exposed to the Western world. You know,
Very true.
you wouldn't like. I don't know what's happening in some country in Africa, and that's not my fault. It's just like nobody's telling me that. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of people like you think that the sanctions about Iran are because of terror attacks, but actually nobody knows that Iran was never, almost never, involved in any terror attack around the globe. So uh, that's something I had to face with when I was studying in the U.S. So
Yeah.
people were asking me like, uh, how's that and how's that? And I started to explaining to them, and they saw like there are so many things that they are not just exposed to, and that was the
It,
point.
Arian, I completely have experienced this because I studied in the US for a little while, and it is definitely down to the US media portraying other countries and access
Yeah,
to what they believe you should hear. And, you know, the American people are none the wiser in the sense of they're listening to what's on their Fox TV or an NBC or any other channel. So there was only one of you telling the real Iran when there's huge media broadcasting stations telling the version of Iran that they wanted to tell. So
exactly.
crazy. But I just while we were just talking about the arts of Persia and the program of the BBC, I see from your social media, your Instagram, etc., this beautiful connection with Arlian Waters, arts, and music. Please tell me more, because there's some. Would you agree, Pat? There's some really
Yeah, yeah, totally
synergy. There's
agree.
synergy that's occurring, and you know, arts and music is a very good way of expressing individuals. But then combining it with the water, which has no borders, and everyone should appreciate. So please, yeah,
So, Arden Waters, as I was saying before, we wanted to deliver not just water. It should have been more than just water. It should have been an experience. So, to deliver an experience, we needed a bigger media, and that media was for us music, because each one of us, by listening to music, we are getting in another mood. We are experiencing with our whole soul when we
yes,
are listening to music. So Aryan wanted to be a lifestyle, and Aryan wanted to be an experience. So we started to work with international artists. At the time, it was actually not very good for us financially to invite international artists to Iran. First thing was the artists were very expensive in if we wanted to convert the price of the artist from euros to reals. So that was a very huge difference. But then me and Ali thought about it, and we thought it's just worth it. And as I said, we were two friends trying to have fun, and that's exactly what we tried to do. So we both loved, and we both enjoyed listening to Ludovico Einaudi as a pianist,
yes,
and that's how we came with the idea that Ludovico Einaudi should be playing for other Iranian people live as well. Or for example, Christopher Van Dillen, as or his artistic name is Schiller, the Schiller
yes,
Group. I think you can see a lot of interviews with him in the German um, television. How how much he loves Iran, and how much he liked the experience of coming to Iran. But yeah, we were both big Schiller fans, and that's how it happened. But as I was telling before, we wanted Arlion to be have the characters that me and Ali both had, and that's exactly what we try to do with people that are joining our team. For example, every single person that comes into Arlion has to answer us questions like if Arlion would be a color, which color would it be, or if it would be a music, which music would it be? If you wanted to say Arian Waters is a movie director, which movie director would it be? We want the people that join our team to be exactly to have the exact character, or at least know the characteristics of Arden Waters, and that's what we really focus on. And I think since we both think a lot about trying to connect our country with the Western world. That was maybe the only way that came to our mind that we could accomplish something. Not just sit back and say everybody's so bad, everybody's not letting us doing what we want, and just take action.
What a beautiful story, because definitely music and art, with the combination of water, it lets you think deeper, a lot deeper. And for me, sitting down, listening to music and drinking water, experiencing it and relaxing is probably one of the best things I could do, coming into a Friday and I have that couple of hours to myself on a Friday evening. It's probably the best thing, but putting that combination to link it to Western world and what you're doing in Iran, I think it's good. And I guess the Iranian people have exposure to different styles of music.
They do, yeah.
And it's good. And I think also for the Western world, we get exposure to Iranian artists as well from the music and art scene. So,
for example, Schiller has an album named Berlin Tehran. So he liked the Tehran so much that he even uh, made an album about it. And I think that it would be very nice for you if you would listen to the whole album. And there are so many Persian instruments in it and so many Persian melodies in it. And combining that with the Schiller taste is something very, very beautiful for me as a Iranian listener.
Very good.
I'm really amazed too about all that stuff, because I know, Millen, you are a big fan of combining water and music, and you love combining water and music. So I think this is a new album for you to join, to have joined
Yes.
that facts.
I need to get it on vinyl.
When we are talking about Schiller, Arian, I never asked that before, but sag uns mal, warum sprichst du Deutsch? Wie kam es, dass du Deutsch sprichst?
Ich bin nach Deutschland gezogen, als ich in der ersten Klasse war, in der zweiten. Und dann war ich auch dort bis zur 5. Klasse und danach bin ich wieder nach Iran gekommen, danach nach Russland und danach nach Amerika.
Okay.
Also ich habe in Deutschland für 5 oder 6 Jahre gelebt.
Bist du weit rumgekommen?
Ja.
Und wo hast du gelebt in Deutschland, die paar
Jahre? Zwischen Köln und Bonn. Da war Niederkassel, hieß es.
Ja, also nicht weit weg von mir. Das ist 1,5 Stunden. Okay. Ja,
ich bin jetzt immer noch ein sehr großer FC Köln-Fan. Und heute hatten sie ein Spiel gegen VfL Bochum. Das konnte ich heute nicht sehen, aber meine Freunde im Iran sagen mir, du bist der einzige FC Köln-Fan in ganz Middle East.
Sehr gut. Sehr gut. Okay, just a small switch into German, because Mr. Arian Gholamali was a few years living as a child in Germany, next to Cologne. And this is something I really like, because everybody around the world has his own story, his own way of life. And just as you said right now, you couldn't see the football game today. I was 2 weeks ago, I was in Bulgaria, and in Bulgaria so many people speak German and so many people speak English, and so you have to do everything to get whatever you want. But they show and they display on every public TV Bundesliga.
Just try to we have that in Iran.
That's live.
You can see every football match in Iran, from Premier League to Bundesliga to La Liga. Each like football is very, very popular in Iran, and I think you wouldn't need a Sky account to watch all of the games here in Iran, because it's shown free on TV.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Arian, before we stop this conversation, I really appreciate it. A question: what is your vision for Arlian Waters in the near future? You just told us about glass and sparkling, but what is the goal or what is the vision for Arlian Waters in maybe 10, 15, 20 years? Do you have a vision therefore, or is just everything growing as it does?
Actually, the main thing is we have some points that I actually told some of them to you that, for example, we want to stop having anything to do with plastic till 2030, or that we want to take the steps towards glass, can, and Tetra packs. But the most thing with Arian Waters is what I was telling you is just two friends trying to have fun with their company, and we're learning each day, and we can change our minds each day. That's the beauty about working with your best friend. That we say something today, and tomorrow we as people will definitely change, and maybe that would change the destiny of Aryan, and that's why we don't really focus on the goals. We just try to enjoy the ride.
Fantastic. I think it's a beautiful story, a beautiful journey that you've been on. And I'm definitely very confident that the work that you're doing, the Arlian brand, once things have settled and the world goes to what I would consider a normal world where we can no borders, everyone can communicate with each other, etc. I could definitely see Arlian on, coming into Europe, into America as a special water and bringing the beauty of Iran to the world through this water is special. I personally believe because like we were mentioning earlier, I never had that opportunity to research or learn the real Iran until I started personally watching documentaries and eating the local Iranian cuisine and having Iranian friends that have come to London. And wow, what fantastic, happy, just joyful, good people. So yeah. I see that you had a bottle of Arlian water with you.
Yeah, I had it. Now it's almost.
That's okay. Just for the audience as well, just to have a look at that. Just hold it there. I just want to grab a quick picture because I think that looks pretty cool. Smile. There we go. Cool.
Holding it like a trophy.
But it does. It has this really beautiful, elegant, tall design to it, which I guess on the table, family dinners, restaurants, weddings, special events.
That's exactly what we were thinking about. So we took the idea of the bottle came from the Eiffel Tower, because we were thinking about something that should be very unique, should be seen, but should blend in. So if you have the Argan Waters, it's something unique. You will definitely notice it, but it's not gonna affect the table setting that each other person prefers for their table settings. So that's exactly what we wanted. We wanted something unique and noticeable, but at the same time very minimal and very blending.
Very good.
Yeah,
Very
that's what I said at the beginning of the show. This is what I mean with flat minimalistic design. It's here and it's not overloading. Yeah, here I am. No,
Exactly.
it's here to stay, to be cool, and to be remindable. And that's really great. Sometimes I think I must be a really freak, loving water, love drinking water, love bottled water. I don't know. This must be crazy. But then I meet people like you week by week, month by month, and I see no, it's not freaky at all. It's just passion. Passion is cool, and so when I started these talk today with the words water knows no borders. This is something I never recognized before I made the marketing for this show. These were some sentences which came into my mind when I made the marketing work for this show. And then I realized this is something really essential about water, because the water cycle on our planet is reaching to everybody, to every living thing. And this is really crazy. And so, borders are made by people in the past, and borders are still made today by people who are bordered with themselves, with their mind. I don't know, because when you look,
Still think in the past.
yeah, but because when you look at all the children which come fresh, free, open-minded to our planet, they don't see that borders. They are playing, they are doing what they want to do, and borders are growing when people are getting older, and this is something very sad. So, but it's a good thing to see that water has no borders, and you cannot say, water, you have to stop here. Water will go through the stone, through the mountain, through everything. In Germany, or no, maybe it was in Austria, there is Mr. I think he's called Thorsten Lerting, and we will have the next show with him in German language. And he found out that, and this is something very special, he's the first guy who found that out. Water can be as fluid like this, and it can be like gas, and it can be like ice. And he found out it can be when you have 150 degrees under zero, you can bring water into glass. I never heard about that before. And he found out a few years ago you can bring it into glass. And now he found out with another temperature you can bring it in another form of glass. So this was just to find out, hey, we have two different fluids, and when they come together, we have water. So water in itself is something connected, two fluids connected. And this is godlike for me, and this is my last word for today. And I thank you for having you on the show. From my side, I say goodbye and have a nice weekend, and I give the words to you, and you. Thank you.
Of course. Arian, would you like to speak?
Thank you very much. It was a great honor for me to talk to you and share information with you, with two specialists about the water, and to see your opinions about Arden waters. Unfortunately, you couldn't give me an opinion about the taste, but about the other things, I'm very happy to have had this conversation with you. I'm very glad that we had this conversation. I'm very glad that we had this conversation about the matters of the borders, and what for me is still very, very ridiculous, that there are still people thinking about these borders uh, in the time that Facebook is starting its own world, and in the VR, uh,
Yes.
starting its own VR world, and there will be very soon nothing about land prices and real estate and stuff, because all of us are gonna live very soon in glasses. So to think about borders in this era is something really ridiculous for me. I'm thanking you guys very much for having me, and I wish the Iranian people to have a very good week, and you too a very good weekend.
Thank you.
Our week starts on Saturdays.
Yes, that's right. Well, firstly, thank you for introducing Arlian Waters to us. It definitely has hydrated the imagination in ways that, with the embargoes and the restrictions, but it's made us want to think a bit more. This is more than just water in a bottle. This is a lifestyle. This is putting the focus onto where the water source, sustainability, which we've touched on, and just having some fun with water. It's not that, and it shouldn't be just that product to sustain us for life. We can have fun with this and create beautiful experiences. So the people of Iran, please, Arian and Ali have done a fantastic job to really put Iran on the map with fine waters and elevating lifestyles with water. So thank you and enjoy this. And we really, really do hope in the very near future, we can share the taste experience with you all, and you can share experiences with Iranian foods, with waters, and the lifestyle that you enjoy. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I wish you a very good night, and it's not by me. It's
Good.
afternoon with you. But I wish you a very good time and a very
Yes.
nice weekend.
Well, I'm turning 40 tomorrow, and this is like
Happy
a beautiful.
birthday!
Thank you.
Happy birthday!
I would say this conversation has really, really made my birthday weekend special. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
So here we go. Looking forward for the first sip of ARLIAN Waters. Maybe in a near future. Hope so.
I hope
And
so.
thank you so much, Arian, for having you here in the show. We will meet you. I don't know when, but thank you for inviting us, and I really look forward to do that, because this is something really special about doing this job, connecting all over the world. This is great. And Milin, hey, have a nice day tomorrow, and a real lovely weekend with the family.
Yes,
And
definitely.
so for the audience, look out. The next show will be in German with Mr. Lerting from Austria about glass water. Oh my god. Have a nice time. Bye bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Come to the sword, string life, find satisfaction. Yeah, that's right. Go with the flow, enter the stage. Hello, it's showtime.